Joining us now is Senator Mark Wayne Mullen from the great state of Oklahoma. Senator, thank you for taking the time here. You are the official liaison between the House and the Senate. So part of this process is passing stuff that we know the House can pass, and some of the stuff got cut out by the parliamentarian. So, Senator, I have a two-part question. Number one, please give us the update. But number two, can you please explain to us, is there any way that we can get, like, the no food stamps for illegals back in the bill, even though the parliamentarian struck it down? Senator.
Yeah, first of all, sorry about the shot. We are running on and off the floor, so I'm stuck down in the basement trying to make this work off of iPhone. So where we're at with the bill, we're going through this vote-a-rama. We'll probably finish up late tonight. I would say just because the dog and pony show, the Democrats want to show that they're fighting, which is just like a spoiled child. So they're probably going to go through the primetime shows. Sometimes after the primetime shows go off the air, they'll probably quit their fight around 11 o'clock Eastern time or so. As far as the parliamentarian kicking this stuff out, keep in mind the Byrd Rule, which the Byrd Rule exists to allow us to do reconciliation. Without the Byrd Rule, you can't do reconciliation because all appropriation bills require 60 votes in the Senate, not just a simple majority. And the Byrd Rule specifically requires you to only deal with mandatory spending, not discretionary spending. Discretionary is what we do through the appropriation process. Mandatory spending's Medicaid, Medicare, Social Security. We can't touch Social Security, and it has to deal with taxes. No policy. So what she ruled on the food stamp issue was that should have go into the appropriation bills, such as the Farm Bill. And the only way to override her is it takes 60 votes. So we can still put the amendment in. Every Republican can vote for it, but we need 6 Democrats to vote with us to be able to override the parliamentarian on that. There are some amendments that are moving forward to try to override her, but we won't get a single Democrat to support this.
Right. So, but just two questions on that. So you cannot override the parliamentarian on simple majority vote. Is that right?
No. Not on this. If it was outside of reconciliation, there's some cases to which you can, but because reconciliation exists only for a funding policy procedure through Byrd Rule, you can't. It's very specific, and keep in mind the House doesn't have to deal with parliamentarian Byrd rules. We do in the Senate because the House can always operate off simple majority. So the Byrd Rule made it possible to do a funding bill by a simple majority in both houses.
But and correct me if I'm wrong, Senator, but can't reconciliation rules be changed by majority vote?
You can change the rules, but that also takes 60 votes. So it's a way. Keep in mind the Senate was designed for the purpose of the majority rules. The House was. The Senate was designed to slow down and give the minority a voice. That was the way our founding fathers set it up. You know this as good as anybody does. So there's certain rules that are in place, and they've been in place forever. And in order to change those rules, once again, the majority can't simply override the minority in this. It will take 60 votes. In some cases, it actually takes 2/3. And it's frustrating as heck. Listen, as a former House member, Charlie, I used to get as mad as anybody about it. Just override them. Just override them. Yes, you can override them. You can also, now the leader can remove the parliamentarian, but in this case, is it one of those questions that you should remove the parliamentarian over? Now, keep in mind that same parliamentarian kept Bernie Sanders from being able to put the minimum wage increase when Biden did reconciliation. This same parliamentarian also kept Bernie Sanders from doing amnesty.
No, we've been very I think you're right. No, you're right. We've been fair on McDonough, but right now I think she's out of control. But Senator, we have a minute here, and thank you for being generous with your time. But there is a nuclear option. I just want to make sure I'm clear with the audience. You can go nuclear, right? Which I think is like Rule 5, where we did with Supreme Court Justice. I'm not even saying we should do it. I know that people will lose their mind. But if we're saying that we can't all of a sudden, we have to keep on giving food stamps to illegal aliens, I mean, come on, well, that's a fight I think that is worth happening.
Yeah. Well, we can change it through the appropriations through discretionary spending. What the parliamentarian ruled is this isn't mandatory spending, meaning that Congress doesn't have to automatically spend the money, which she's absolutely correct on that. But when we do discretionary spending through the appropriation process, that's one of the 12 bills. She's saying that's where that belongs, and you can have that fight then. When we do the appropriation process, you can go nuclear on some of that stuff and change it from majority to minority, but not through the whole appropriation bill. Because as I repeat myself here, the Senate was designed to give the minority a voice, which is why we were able to keep so much stuff when Nancy Pelosi was ruling the House, is why we were able to keep so much stuff from moving forward, even though at that time we had Harry Reid running the Senate.
No, that is correct. I respect that. No, trust me, I do respect. And Senator, please stay for another segment. And I'm expressing my frustration and the audience's frustration because it seems arbitrary, and I don't think we should be in the business of defending every decision of an unelected Senate staffer.